ran out of gas and shut off on me as I was going up the gas station driveway. Turned it on, and it literally, as I was putting up to the pump, it turned off again. Fueled up, and then didn't want to turn on no more. I did check the fuel pressure, not with like a gauge or anything, but just to see if there's any fuel coming out of the fuel rail, and it doesn't seem to have any fuel coming out. I am going to crank the car and a couple of times just to see if we could prime the fuel pump, if it is still working, and see if it at least builds a little bit of pressure in the fuel rails. I already did saw that it didn't, but I do want, just to make sure, I'm going to do it one more time. So let me go ahead and show you guys what we got. So here we have the back of the Mini Cooper. I pretty much took off the rear seats as well as the backrest for the rear seats. I don't think I'm going to be installing the backrest back on, just the seats itself, just because the backrest itself was a good, I'm gonna be honest, it was probably like a good 50 to 60 pounds, maybe even a little bit more. So we're going to just keep the backrest off and keep these seats just so we don't have all this exposed once we are done with this. But pretty much what you're going to want to do is remove the seats. You don't have to remove the back rest. It will make it easier, but you don't have to. As long as you just remove the seats, you should be fine. Once you do that, you have two ports. You have this one and this one. The one on the passenger side is for the fuel filter, and the one on the driver's side is for the fuel pump itself. So if you're doing the fuel pump, you'll get the driver's side. Fuel filter will be passenger side. I would recommend you guys to do both since you're already here. Might as well, you know. But I honestly, I don't know. I wasn't thinking about it when I ordered this, so I didn't really buy one per se. But I will be doing it later on in the future if you guys do want to come back and check that video out. I will be making a video of me replacing every single time. We're gonna come over to the engine bay, and to check the pressure for the fuel system itself, it's pretty self-explanatory. You just want to remove the intercooler itself. I already have it pretty much disassembled. I just put the intercooler back on so nothing could get into the horns itself. But you just want to remove this. Once you remove this, put it to the side. So here you have your fuel rail. Ideally, you'll want to unscrew this cap right here and then just connect a fuel gauge kit on this end right here, and that's how you would check your pressure gauge or your pressure for the fuel system. I don't have a gauge, so I'm just going to go in there and crank the, not crank, but just turn over the key to the on position a couple times, since that's pretty much how you'll prime the fuel pump to pressurize the system. We are I think the car does need a jump start. It still has, let me see, yeah, we still have some juice in there, so I am going to connect my jump start right here and give it some charge, and then we'll see from there. All right, so I went ahead and gave it a couple of switches on the key and checked the fuel rail to see if we had any pressure. A little bit did come out, but it was like a very tiny amount, so honestly I don't think the fuel pump is working. So we're gonna go ahead and pretty much switch it off right now. Before you do though, you do want to make sure you disconnect your battery, which should be in the trunk, because you do not want to have any electricity or anything like that going on when you're working on the fuel pump. So make sure you disconnect your battery. I am going to go ahead and do that. I'm also going to pretty much explain to you guys what you have to do, because I'm gonna time lapse everything. But pretty much once you do disconnect your battery, you pretty much have these 5 nuts that you have to remove. This cover does pop up just like so. I don't know about you guys, but I had a lot of spider webs in there and a couple of eggs on the underside of that, which I did clean up already. Don't know if you guys are gonna have that too, but if you do, just be careful with those damn spiders. All right, this little black connector actually slides. You could get a screwdriver and just pretty much put it here. No help it slide. It's already slidden to the right, so it doesn't need to get pushed. But from there, you just pretty much disconnect it and you're pretty much good to go. I did realize that this is still the original fuel pump, just because it still has a seal on. So hey, maybe it was time that the fuel pump needed to be replaced. It says a 17-year-old car, so it was probably about time. After that, you do have this little I guess lock-on screw thing. They do sell a specific tool to remove it, but we ain't gonna spend that money. So what you're going to want to do, I seen some people pretty much mark the ends right here just so they know how much to turn it. Honestly, don't know if it's gonna be a big problem. I'll probably still just do it just to be safe. From there, you'll want to get like a flathead screwdriver like so, put it on one of these notches right here, get yourself a hammer and hit it a couple times till it comes loose. I will be getting another one. Don't be using one like this just because it has a metal top right here, and you know, if you smack a hammer with that, it might create some sparks and it will not end good. So from here on out, My head is kidding me and I have a runny nose, so I don't even feel like talking right now. I'm just going to set you guys on a time lapse so you guys can enjoy. And I'm freaking sweating because of how sick I am. But let's get this done. So once you have the battery out, it should look something pretty much like this. I did go ahead and vacuum and pretty much did a small clean, nothing too crazy, just to get it clean a bit, you know. But now that that's done, we could go ahead and move over to the fuel pump. I did forget to mention that you do want to have some rags nearby. For example, I have this guy. Sometimes if you're not too careful, also depending on how much fuel you have in the tank, but for the most part, when you take off that fuel pump, some of the fuel is still on there, so it does kind of like leak a bit. Since this part right here does kind of go down in an angle, all the fuel will kind of pretty much go down to this area right here. So you could just use this rag, put it there, and pretty much soak up all the excess fuel that came out. We're gonna go ahead and clean this really good, especially where it's at, right there on inside the actual pump housing itself, just because we don't want any dirt and debris to get into the fuel itself. So let's go ahead and get it started. So fuel pump is removed. It's still in there, but for the most part it's pretty much already out. I just have to disconnect everything else. I did want to go ahead and show you guys, oh my god, why is there so many flies here? I did want to go ahead and show you guys the new fuel pump real quick. So I did order it from Euro Tunings. I usually like ordering from them just because I'm able to use pretty much the benefits from the installment plans, where I could pretty much get the parts without paying full price at that exact moment, and instead pay installment plans. Usually it's a couple months that they give you where you just pay like a certain amount each month, as opposed to paying the full price. This one, it wasn't too expensive. It was 170 something before tax and shipping, plus the installment plans, and they always ship on time, if not earlier, which is one of my favorite things about them. Right here we do have our new fuel pump. It does come with a new seal, so that's good. And it also comes with this hose. If that is still the original one, then this hose isn't on the original one. I believe it's connected directly to the pump, as opposed to having an extension like this one does, where you could just connect it to. So that's a good thing as well. For the fuel pump, it's pretty much straightforward. You have a couple of connectors that just come off. I'm debating if I should do a time lapse on me removing that, or you know, I'll just record it. Let me go wash my hands real quick just so I don't get the fuel dirty, and we'll come back. Pretty much, let me go ahead and use this to hold the sensor out of the way. I already smell the fuel. Damn, I have to kind of tighten in here, and I am a short person, but I'm pretty thick and compact, so it's kind of difficult to be in here. But we have our towel here just to have it ready, just in case it spills. From here, there's a little like clip that you just push in. Once you push it in, this part should just come right out, just like so. And you have this little holes right here. You do not want to lose this, because then you'll have to be in there pretty much fishing for it. And then you have this wire right here that clips onto the connector itself. For removing it is going to be a problem. So I took a gamble and let go of the connectors. I don't think they'll get lost in there. Just in case they did, I didn't let them go all the way. So once we take this off, it should still be down there. This pump is also full of fuel, so I'm going to try to be careful. You guys can see how much fuel is in there. And honestly, it's still pretty clear. I don't know if this is wrong, but I'm just going to dump the fuel that I have in there in here. Oh, give me a sec. This isn't even, I'm just gonna throw it out. All right, now we are going to just pretty much dry the area. Luckily, it is gas, so it does evaporate pretty quickly. The fuel in there is pretty clean, and those hoses pretty much just stay there. They don't really go anywhere else, so you could pretty much just let them go. Honestly, like I said, just let them go as you let your hand in there, just to make sure it doesn't retract on itself. That brown hose right there goes connected to this guy right here, and then there's a connector that goes connected onto this guy, and there is one more clear, that grayish clearish pipe right there that goes connected. I can't really point, but it goes connected onto this guy right here. I'm guessing that's how it refills it with fuel. So I'm going to go ahead and set you guys back up on a time lapse as I do this, and pick you guys up once I'm done. Oh, hell yeah. Now that's what a fuel pump is supposed to sound like. I just did the first prime with the fuel, with the new fuel pump. And honestly, like, check it out. So originally, when I had the old fuel pump, I would turn the key to the on position and I wouldn't even hear a buzz or anything from the back seat. But now when I turn the key, just listen to it. That's what a fuel pump is supposed to sound like. One more time. It's like making love in my ear. Here's a piece of shit. So now that we have that all set, I don't even need to test the pressure on the fuel rail to see if we have any pressure, because I heard the fuel pump. So at least now I know that the fuel pump wasn't working for sure, and we have a higher chance of getting this car running. Before I do go ahead and turn it on though, I am going to put all of this back on and bolt it on, as well as everything else around the trunk, and then we'll go ahead and start it from there. So let's go ahead and pretty much assemble everything back up, and then we'll give her a little test to see if she turns on. We're gonna go ahead and give her a crank. Hopefully she turns on. I really hope she does, because if not, it's gonna take a little bit more looking into. But let's see. Let's do this. Fuel pump is going. I hear it. Gonna give that a second to finish going in. All right, let's see. Oh, it's dead. Let me go ahead and give it some charge. Turned on. Couldn't even talk, but I think it just needs to get some fuel into the system. So let me let it run for a bit, and then I'll pick up the camera. So let's see how it goes. All right, guys. So honestly, it's been about, I don't know, probably like a week or two since I installed the fuel pump. I literally completely forgot about I guess recording the outro, and pretty much just telling you guys how the car turned out after the installation. And I've been really busy lately. Like I haven't really even been able to edit as much. I'm currently doing an internship at a garage. We pretty much build and restore, also do like, you know, regular maintenance on pretty much classic cars. So, you know, out of your classic muscle car, lowriders, and all this good stuff. After that, at night I still go to work. So I really only have about probably one day out of the week to actually work on my cars and make some videos, as well as edit them. But to make a long story short, the car is running perfectly fine. Honestly, I've been getting better fuel economy ever since I changed the fuel pump, and it's been so damn good that I've actually been wanting to change my fuel filter, just because I've never done it. I don't know if the previous owner has done it, but we have all the time in the world to get that stuff done. So right now we're just doing little things at a time. Custom infinity style fog lights for the Mustang are looking phenomenal. You know, we tested it on the bumper to see if it fits, and it fit perfectly. There's a little bit of modification that needs to be done, but other than that, it was looking amazing. I can't wait till we finish them and I finally get them installed on the bumper itself. It's gonna look freaking amazing. But yeah, with that being said, that's gonna be it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, remember to leave a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. Damn, my dad Frenchie's over here sounding like a big. I really appreciate it. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video.